Okay, so what is discovery? Well, it's a really simple word, and if you think about it at its simplest, what's discovery? It's about understanding and exploring and trying to find things out. And for us, it's the underpinning practice that sits behind both our customised employment programs and our IPS programs. And what's it really all about? It's about going on a journey and discovering who the individual is. What are their ideal conditions of employment? What's their neighbourhood like? What are the opportunities that exist in their neighbourhood? And what about employment makes sense for them? Because, we start this idea of everybody would love a job. And most people kind of go, well, what does it actually look like? And it's really about understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, because let's face it, discovery is a person-centered approach. It came out of the early individual education plans back in the 80s, then evolved from there and adopted more of the person-centered principles. And then, of course, in the year 2000, discovery added, by then it had evolved and it brought in the notion of financial planning, because let's face it, person-centered practice is great and it might get you a great lifestyle, but if you don't have an income, you're probably still going to be in poverty. So this is where the financial planning came in. This is where someone like Carrie Griffin, for instance, brought financial planning into their version of discovery. And that's continued to be one of the bedrock principles that exists in all the different forms of discovery. So fast forward 20 years, and what's discovery like in Australia? Well, for the last 20 years we've been using discovery, and in the last couple of years we've been using it directly ourselves in practice with our own clients, so that we can take research, we can take evidence and go, so what does it actually look like in real life? So in Australia we have an NDIS, and that funds a large number of people to have discovery through economic participation. So consequently, we've evolved discovery to respect the NDIS environment, and to a degree also the DES environment, which uses a different version of discovery that we have. So it uses more of a self-guided one, which sits more comfortably in the compliance regime that's DES. So, but when you look at NDIS, it funds discovery, so we can actually do it. And people often think it's just purely around job development. But what's discovery? Discovery is a capacity building tool, because every opportunity where we go into the community, where we engage in your neighbourhood, where we work out how do you get to work, what do the buses do, where do they go? And then we look at the businesses in your area, and we do work experiences, and we do informational interviews. These are all capacity building tools. And then when you bring in the really tangible areas such as things like self-determination, because what a good discovery should do, what a good customised employment should do, is it builds your capacity not only to find, hold and actually have work, but it also develops your capacity to be a stronger self-advocate, to self-determine, because we know one of the things that from discovery is that if you don't have a voice in the workplace, your employment's probably not going to last long. Because let's face it, that's what we all do. We have a problem at our workplace, we can go and ask someone. But if you've never been given permission, which is a lot of our clients, if you don't know how to go and do that, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you're probably not going to stay in employment for long. So for us, what's true discovery? Well, true discovery is about understanding the person. It's about job development, but importantly, it's about building their capacity to find, maintain employment, but to also have the same life that everybody else has. To have a voice and use it loudly and say, this is me. I've got a job, I live independently, and I make my own decisions. So for me, for us, that's discovery. That's the real heart of it for us.